Welcome to the Love Local Chicagoland Podcast. Here we invite people from our local communities to share their stories and their voices. Through amplifying their message, we share their genuine human experiences that connect us all. Our goal is to make our communities more than just a place to live, but instead, a place to thrive. Tune in to hear what makes our communities so special right here on the Love Local Chicagoland Podcast.
The Love Local Chicagoland Podcast is made possible with the generous support of our community partners. Thank you.
All right, my friends, when you do a podcast with Paul Shafer, there's only one way to start. My friends, pre-gaming is important. In fact, I think it's a must. So we've brought a good friend here from Tuscan Wine Market in Arlington Heights, Tracy, to come do a shot of Malort with us because on social media, she, when I asked about questions for Paul, she was like, I took my first shot of Malort with Paul. So I asked her, that was my impersonation. You're welcome. I asked her, I'm like, hey, you want to come on the show and drink with us and have a good time. And we could talk, to Paul. So she's going to do a shot with us and she's going to get out of here. Me and Paul are going to jam, but we're drinking Church Street Brew because that's kind of how we roll here. And we love our Mad Cats too, which we'll talk about at a cool event we have coming up with Mad Cats on December 13th. Right, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to throw a party. Party of all parties.
Right.
It's party of the year. We're going to close out 2024 with a, with a bang,
It's an early hours party. So us old people can stay awake.
We could be in bed by 8, 9, I'm a 9 o'clock guy, a 9 o'clock guy, but we'll put them in and we'll hang with the youngins for a little bit.
A while. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. So, but anyway, I'm excited for this podcast, and I appreciate you, Tracy, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, do you want to talk about Tuscan Wine Market at all? Share anything since you're here? Yeah.
Tuscan Market is the place to be in Arlington Heights for beer and wine. No Malort. We do not have Malort.
Yeah, but you like Malort. You're like now are you a fan?
Like is a hard word, but yeah. I can do a Malort every now and then. Sure.
Yeah, you do, and you take one for the team, right?
No, I take one for me and Paul. We've been doing them a long time. I have some Malort in this life.
I appreciate you being a good sport. I love Tuscan Wine Market. Me and my wife go there. It's a cute little spot in downtown Arlington Heights. I love it in the summer. The patio, the music is amazing.
Great.
Food's awesome too. So thanks for
Paul is great with the food and the music every weekend. And tonight, Mallory. I got to get over there. So Mallory's playing tonight.
Details about work. It's all right.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Right. Well, let's. Me and Paul got a podcast,
do
I can't wait for the community to get to know Paul behind the scenes because I think he may be the most interesting man, at least in Palatine, but maybe even the whole Northwest suburbs. But I think since you took your first shot of Malort with Paul, I think you should raise your glass and lead us in a cheers if you could.
Lead us in a cheers. Cheers.
I would love to say this is my first shot of Malort with Paul.
It's not.
But it is not. Cheers to a good conversation.
Conversation, good friends.
We're gonna do them.
Team shots. Let's do it.
Shot.
This is my special shot glass named Malortia.
Malortia. How did the name Malortia come along in this podcast?
I figured I'd be drinking Malort out of it.
That makes sense.
It was a gift.
Added a little
all these what's that?
Just added a little bit of Malortia.
Yeah, Malortia.
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
The other two shot glasses, they're in the shot glass protection program. They don't have names.
Okay, good.
Reveal. Yeah. They were all gifts. If you're wondering what these bikini clad shot glasses are all about, I didn't buy these for myself. These were
they're
my
gifts.
wife got me one.
I got one.
Tracy got me one, and then my buddy Tom got me this one.
Paris. Yeah.
I love everything's got a story. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, let's podcast, Paul. And Tracy,
Alrighty.
Appreciate you.
Let's do
this. Yeah, for sure. All right, my friends. I don't know if this show needs any more of an intro, but I'm super grateful to be here today on the Love Local Chicagoland Podcast interview. Paul Shafer, my friends. If you live in the Northwest suburbs, especially Palatine, you know this man. And what you might not know, he has a heart of gold too. He has one heck of a story, and he likes to drink. He likes the Bears, and he loves to stand up for things that he may not always do, but he believes in other people just doing their thing and being happy. And we'll talk about his story within that. And I'm super excited because this is a new version for us on Love Local Chicagoland. We've been doing businesses and nonprofits, but like we're human too, guys. And like the world's a hot mess. So why don't we sit back? Why don't we get to know our neighbors? And let's go. Paul Shafer, I'm super excited to have this conversation with you. Welcome to the show, man.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, great. It's great to have you, man. I've known you probably for about 4 years or so now.
Yeah,
no, more than that, like 8 years now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
8, 9 years. I think I always knew you. We know each other from our church.
From our church, yeah.
We like to drink beer. We like to hang out
yeah.
with our friends. We go to church too.
We do.
But yeah, so you've made a name for yourself by being your authentic self, and you've made people, in my opinion, like laugh during hard times. You've brought humor to situations that some people could take serious, and I think the world needs more of that. So today we're going to talk just a little bit about you, Paul. And I'm going to kind of guide us on a story, and we'll entertain people as we go. And we're going to drink Church Street beer. Right. What kind of beer do you have there right now?
Well, that's a Church Street Golden Elf American Golden Lager.
Cool.
Trying this for the first time. I am familiar with Church Street in general, but I don't believe I've had this particular product.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's I got a whole bunch of beer here from Church Street, but I didn't plan this very well, guys. I'm just going to be real with you. And this beer is still warm, and we want cold beer. And we also have the Malort here, which will go from there. But Paul, I really no more Malort, please, for me.
That's fine.
I think I want to know. And I know people want to know in the community. Like, take us back. Who is Paul Shafer? Take us back to a young age. Where were you born?
I was born in Jacksonville, Illinois. It's a town in straight west of Springfield, Illinois, a town of about 20,000 people. That's where I was born and raised until I went to college, then went to college in Champaign, moved up here after that.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, you have a common ground. We both lived in Griffith, Indiana for a little bit.
Yes. My first apartment after college was in Griffith, Indiana. I was there for about a year or so.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's there's a reason you leave. I love Northwest Indiana. My family still lives there, but to me, I like this area a little bit better. It's just I don't know. The Griffith is nice, but it's different than here. In my opinion. The northern suburbs of Chicago are pretty nice, and Palatine, Arlington Heights, Schaumburg area. But it's awesome, man. And then you went to U of I, and then after U of I, where did you go? Like, what happened? So you're early 20s.
Yeah, my first job was with Honeywell at the Chicago South branch. So that was down in Lansing, which is how I wound up living in Griffith, Indiana. The two were about 10 minutes apart.
Oh yeah, be close.
Lansing, Illinois, and Griffith, Indiana. And then after about a year with Honeywell, they transferred me up to the Lincolnwood branch. So I moved up to the north suburbs and wound up I was in Arlington Heights for a while, and Schaumburg, and then Palatine. So I've been in the Chicago area for 40 plus years, and almost all of that in the northwest suburbs.
Awesome. Yeah, beautiful. And they now reside in the Palatine.
In Palatine,
area,
yeah, downtown Palatine, walking distance from all the places with all these fine products that we got in front of us here.
Yeah,
Mad Cats, and
you gotta love Mad Cats.
Oh, yeah.
We're throwing a party at Mad Cats.
Yep.
Let's start talking about that now. For people that are watching this, hope you come join us. But December 13th, 5:30 to 7:30. It's party of the year. Paul Shafer, Love Local, are joining together to invite the community to Mad Cats to relax, unwind, and have a good time.
Yeah, Mad Cats is a great place. They have. We have something different going on every night of the week. I think they have bingo one night, trivia one night, karaoke one night. They have live music all time. And good food.
That's important. Live music. You can't get that in tons of spots around here. It's really nice. I know Tracy was talking about that too, that they have live music. That's a good feeling, right?
Yeah, that's a big part of what they're doing there. And, very friendly staff that you can tell they're a close-knit family in there, that staff. They just... food's good, service is good. It's a good vibe in there. I like to go a lot of times early before the music and stuff starts because it's quieter, and I'm older.
Yeah,
but I like the music too, and I just can't say enough about the play. I'm really looking forward to the 13th. Anybody, encourage anybody to come join us.
Yeah, food's good too.
Yep.
Beer's good. Mad Cat's awesome too, right?
Oh yeah, he is. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm looking forward to that, man, and continuing this conversation. And so kind of come back to the conversation, like let's kind of go back to your youth a little bit. Like, who is Paul Shafer as a kid? Like, what were you interested in? What did you do? Did you get in trouble? Like, what happened?
I really didn't get in trouble. I was pretty well behaved, or whatever. If I wasn't well behaved, I usually wasn't getting caught. But
You're a smart man, Paul.
Yeah, I was not an athlete. I was a good student, and I played in the marching band, which is like the opposite of being an athlete. Well, in fact, I tried out for I couldn't even make Little League in my hometown. I had to play in the B League because I suck, But
we all got our gifts. Paul.
Yeah, for me it was mostly, did well academically, enjoyed marching band, and enjoyed my youth group at church. Some of my early jobs before I was even old enough to get a work permit, I would work on farms. Walk beans. I don't know if you know what that is, but you walk through bean fields with a sickle, soybean fields. So the beans are maybe waist high, and you got to cut the weeds out of them. Mm-hmm. It's hard work. No shade. And I did that. And then, when I was about 15, I started working at McDonald's along with half the rest of the town, and had a good time working there. Made a lot of friends that I still have from those years. And then, got older, left, and went away. Still go back there. Went back there quite regularly when my parents were alive. They're both gone now, but still make it back for certain, events, high school reunions, occasionally. Some band that I want to see playing will draw me back there, and it'll always be home.
Yeah, where you grow up, it's important. There's always roots there. Right?
Yeah,
and those memories you'll always have with you. And that, to me, I know that at least that for myself, and it sounds like that's the same.
Yeah,
for you.
Yeah, I was blessed to grow up in the same. I was born. The house that I grew up in, I moved to, I believe, when I was about 10 months old, and my parents lived there almost until my mother died 3 years ago. So I had the same house, memories of the same house through my entire youth.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it definitely is kind of cool. In a small community too. It sounds like the community kind of where everybody knows each other.
Yeah, it's not a real big place. It's not like it's 500 people. It's about 20,000. So, but there aren't too many.
Palatine's like what, 67,000, 70,000-ish, something like that. Yeah, right.
But a town of 20,000 aren't too many degrees of separation.
No,
don't have to ask too many questions before you know somebody.
Even in Palatine, it's crazy. We'll continue to evolve, but like 6 degrees of separation is real here. So I remember my first drink. I was 16 years old. I was driving down. I probably shouldn't share this, but I will. I was driving down. I wasn't driving. I was with my friend that was driving, and I had a drink for my first time. I remember that. 16 years old. Do you have a memory of your first drink? Like, were you a teenager? Were you in college? Yeah. Like, when was that?
I was a teenager, probably 16 or 17.
Dude, we got away with so much crap.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't have cell phones.
No. And the internet. Yeah, the old saying, thank God we did all our stupid shit before the internet.
Thank God. Yeah.
I think the first thing I ever did.
I had chat rooms, and that, I was good there. Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah. If I had social media, me and my friends would be screwed.
Yeah. We didn't have any of that. We didn't have video games. We didn't have.
Yeah.
We barely had calculators. It was a long time ago. I think the first thing I ever drank was Mad Dog 2020.
Whew. I wouldn't recommend it. Was a Mickey's 40, and I would not recommend that either.
I still drink those.
Yeah, you still drinking Mickey's 40? We should have had this here with Malort, man. I could kept it in the paper bag. We could have been good. So awesome. Appreciate you sharing that part. So tell us a little about your midlife. You're back here. You're in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. You're an engineer by trade, right?
Yeah.
A very analytical mind. Tell us about like your next part of your journey after college, what you went through a little bit more. And I think where I'm going with this, like, how did you become like the unofficial mayor of Palatine, man? Like, I feel like you know everybody, and everybody knows you. But to share a little bit of that journey.
Well, I tend to go to, I pop into a lot of the bars pretty regularly, and not constantly, but
You like
got to be pretty well known. I like
you like to support small businesses.
Yeah, I do, and I like to socialize and stuff. And so I kind of got known around town for that. I go to restaurants and have my favorite servers and make friends with them and their families, and I just like to meet people wherever I am. And over a period of years, it added up to me knowing a lot of people. And then social media took off, and especially some of the local Palatine social media pages. There was a lot of humorous exchanges going on, and I wound up making a number of friends that I wound up meeting in person there. So I think lately it's been a lot of social media contact, just humorous exchanges on Facebook pages in the last few years.
So take us back behind it. Like when you're seeing these posts, like what triggers you to say something? Like, is it just these things just randomly pop up because you're funny, man. You're witty. And I think, I said it earlier too, like you bring a little bit of lightheartedness to sometimes something that's serious. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And many times it's stuff that's just fun, but where does it tell us behind the scenes, paint us a picture of you sitting there on your phone or on your computer as you see these things. How does that work?
I don't, I thank you. That was a very, very nice thing to say. It just comes naturally. I mean, it's a reflex, I guess, for me. Some people can throw a football a quarter mile and
you bet you all those jocks.
I can't do that.
They want your
but I can. I guess I just see things. I try and look for the humor in everyday situations, and I guess it's just how I'm wired.
Yeah. I think it's important, especially in times like today, like to look at things and to have some fun to it, or to not take it so seriously.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's key.
No one gets out of here alive.
No, that's I heard. Yeah. It's a short ride too.
Yeah.
Relax, everybody.
Yeah. So I do try and keep kind of a lighthearted and positive attitude towards things in general. I think it's just kind of how God made me, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, man. I think each of us has our gifts, and you definitely have your gifts. The things that I've seen you involved with in the comments that I see, like, I smile, man. I don't always comment back because I'm not funny. That's not one of my gifts. I think I'm sarcastic, but not funny. Even though I tell my wife I'm funny and my kids I'm funny all the time.
Does she buy it? What's their opinion on it?
They don't agree. My daughter goes, I was like, I'm the first funniest person in the house. You know that, right? And she's like, no, you're not, Daddy. I am. And I'm like, well, what am I? She's like, probably 3. You're funnier than Mommy. And I'm like, so Charlie's funnier than me. She's like, yeah. So she's probably accurate.
That's good.
Yeah,
and she keeps you honest.
I'm probably 4th because I think Carrie has a little bit more wit than me. But some of the stories in the community, I think if something that comes into mind on social media, and there's other things too. But Smith and Colfax, man. That intersection is now famous, kind of like, other intersections like, Las Vegas Strip and Tropicana.
Oh, yeah.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about this backstory?
Well, yeah. Well, Smith and Colfax, that's an intersection in Palatine, right across the street from Dirty Nelly's. And I used to live about 100 yards from that intersection. And every time it rained.
Trouble, Paul.
Yeah. Every time it rained, or if it rained hard, if a lot of rain came fast in a short period of time, Smith and Colfax would always flood. I mean, badly. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the police usually did a pretty good job of getting there and closing the intersection, but there'd always be at least somebody that came in there and tried to drive through it, and cars started floating away. Mm-hmm. And so Smith and Colfax, when it rains, has become kind of a tourist attraction. And
go swimming there.
Yeah, you could. You see fish jumping out of it. But it supposedly
have you really, or is that just
no? I have not actually seen it. I have seen cars stalled there.
Yeah.
One time, it flooded so badly one time that the Parktown condominiums are at Smith and Colfax, and towards the north end of there, commuter parking was allowed by the train station. Mm-hmm. Well, one time it rained so badly that half of that parking lot flooded, and the commuters' cars were, some of them up to their hood in water.
Oh, wow.
I stood and watched all the commuters getting off the train, headed to their car, and I felt very bad for them, but every single one of them did the same thing. They look at their car, they'd say, oh shit. They take off their shoes and roll up their pants or hike up their dresses, walk to the car. They get on their phone, call their spouses to tell them the car was underwater. And
So you sit back watching this? Like,
well, what could I do?
Yeah.
Watch it. I was somewhat amused. I did feel very bad for the people, but I'm like, well, I'm not going to see this every day. I might as well watch.
Yeah.
And a few people tried to start their car and failed at that. That was my fondest memory of Smith and Colfax. I think there's moves to get it under repair. There's an engineering study that's been done or being done. I mean, I think they're going to fix it. I'm going to kind of miss it, the flooding, but some people won't. The ones that lost their cars in it.
Yeah, for sure. But to me, I see people comment on that on social media, and it's just, I feel like you've created like this folklore with it.
I think I was the first one to mention it. I took a picture of Smith and Colfax when it was flooded, and I posted it on one of the Palatine pages, and it's one of those things that seem to have gotten legs, if you will.
Yeah.
And, the Palatine snow pile that you might have seen.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was exactly where I was going to go. I know Roxy that runs the Coyote, but she's an amazing soul.
Yeah.
And just an awesome human. But tell me about the snow pile stuff too.
Well,
I've seen that on there and other groups.
Well, by the parking garage, which is in the greater Smith and Colfax district.
It's a district now. Huh?
Yeah, we call it the Smith and Colfax district.
Palatine is that cool, man. I agree.
Right by the parking garage, there's always a big pile of snow in the wintertime because they plow the top of the garage and dump all the snow, and the snow pile grows to be about 3 stories tall over the course of the winter. And then there's always bets being made as to when the last of it will melt. And usually it takes about May. And every day people are posting pictures of it and winning and losing bets over when it'll disappear. And that's become kind of a thing in Palatine as well. I think that got some coverage on the Chicago radio stations and newspapers and stuff.
It definitely did.
And that's it. I'm not the one that
I feel like I started that one.
But somebody else really got a hold of that one and ran, and people like that kind of stuff.
It's a story about things happening in our community that lighthearted, like life's serious all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we could talk about Smith or Colfax, or we could talk about a snow pile that won't go away because the Chicago weather sucks.
Yeah.
And it's in a bad spot where it doesn't get sun. Like those are important, right?
They are.
Yeah. And getting those messages out there. It's one of the first times I knew you at church, but I didn't really know you. And then I saw the newspaper, and you had this opt-in shirt during a time when I think they were trying not to allow marijuana within our area, like one of those dispensaries. And you're full disclaimer, you're not a stoner, right?
No.
But you had the stoners back. So is that what I hear?
Yeah, well, the general idea, in fact, I brought the newspaper with me where that article appeared. This was from, when was this? December 7th, 2019. I don't know where the camera is, but
6 years. Look in the corner one there. Yeah.
That's the Daily Herald. That's me in the opt-in shirt. And the story behind that is marijuana was made legal in 2018 or something in the state of Illinois. And
for medical, right? Yeah.
No, for recreational use.
Yeah.
It was legalized in the state. And the way the state law read, so that gave people a license you could open up a dispensary and sell it, just like a liquor store. But every village got to choose for itself whether it wanted to allow that or not. The same as a village can vote itself dry or, any number of things. So every community got to decide for itself whether they wanted to allow cannabis sales in their area. Well, this group called Opt Out, that I believe was based in Naperville, formed, and they were opposed to not only their community having marijuana sales. They traveled around city council meetings all over the suburbs and spoke and protested and tried to prevent every suburb from opening dispensaries. And I saw them once. I went to the Palatine Zoning Commission meeting where the Zoning Commission was trying to figure out, okay, if we allow this, what rules are we going to have? How far they got to be from schools, how much parking, that kind of. And the opt-out people were all there in their white T-shirts, protesting, speaking, carrying on. And they got a right to do that. I have no objection to that. But it kind of bothered me that they were traveling to other suburbs trying to tell other suburbs how to do stuff that's a local decision.
It's like somebody sending them there or something.
Well, yeah, they certainly are entitled to their opinion. I don't want to take anything away from that. And
for sure.
And maybe they were right. But I thought, well, maybe some people here in Palatine have a different opinion, and maybe they want to express it. So me and my friend Tracy, that we saw earlier in the video,
Awesome human. I met her about an hour ago.
And she's wonderful?
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Longtime friend of mine. And so we decided to gauge interest on social media if anybody would be interested in an opt-in movement for Palatine.
So clear, not a stoner. You're just like, I got your back.
I'm
stand up for what's right here.
I just figured if someone had a different opinion, I can help mobilize them. Just all I really did was say, you guys want to get green t-shirts and wear them to the city council meeting? And people were interested in that. So we ordered a bunch of green t-shirts and a bunch of people went to the meeting. That's the article that kind of describes what I just described.
Yeah. So you made the newspaper.
I did. And then
how'd that feel? Like you're like, stoners, I got your back.
My wife.
Did you guys win or did you not win? I don't.
Well, the way it turned out. Well,
here
is the newspaper 3 days later.
What date is that? Marijuana shops allowed in Palatine.
Yeah, December 10th, 2019. 3 days after this article appeared. The way it happened at the village council, it was tied. I think 4 councilmen, 4 against, and the mayor cast a deciding vote in favor. And so marijuana shops from that day forward have been allowed in Palatine. As far as I know, there aren't.
Paul Shafer.
Well, I think
every time a person that smokes weed or eats weed in this community sees Paul at a bar, you need to buy him a drink, guys. Now your pot shops are closed.
I don't think they've opened any in Palatine yet. I don't know, but people seem to have found it.
I think it's like right on the border of like Rolling Meadows, Palatine. So there's
yeah.
something else stopping that, but still buy the man a drink.
But yeah, but I think the village council probably kind of had their mind. I don't know how much it's actually accomplished, but it was fun, and it gave people a chance to speak up. And that was my main course, was just if people didn't want it in Palatine, that's fine. That's fine. But I thought maybe there'd be people who would want to speak up, so I gave them an avenue to do that, and they did it.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit of press coverage over it. Not that I necessarily needed that. I hope my mother never saw that. But
yeah, she'd be proud, man. You're standing up for what you think is right.
Well,
and I think that's the lesson I get from that. And I think that's beautiful. And
I wanted people to be able to mobilize if they wanted to. So I wasn't really the leader of a movement. I just kind of greased the skids and bought the t-shirts.
Yeah. You bought the t-shirts, that's half the panel, and just getting into that conversation and standing up. And dude, you made the Daily Herald, like the reach that gets, because you got an opt-in shirt. Well,
like, you reach everybody over.
Yeah.
Well, that's making the hard copy newspaper, you reach everybody over 80 years of age that reads it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm like the only person
anymore.
actually reads a newspaper.
All respectfully, it's not where our attention is on that type of news anymore. It's shifting, it's changing with these social platforms.
It's all about podcasts now.
Yeah, I like podcasts and I like making videos and stuff like that. I think I have a reason. I think local stories matter, and I think what you're talking about, I think is pretty awesome, man. It's it's important to be able to speak our mind, whatever we think in our world. And that's the greatest thing about being an American, is being able to have freedom of speech and to say what we want. We don't always have to agree, but we hope we would talk to each other and listen with the intent not to judge, but to understand, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, totally. So kind of shifting topics now, and I appreciate that piece of it. The Bears suck, man.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on? Like, I thought we were good. I had hope. They fooled me. They fooled me, man. I was like, the first 2 games, I'm like, they're just what I thought they were going to be. And then they kind of rebounded, and then they went to the shit again. So they gave me, I didn't have hope. I had hope, and then they broke it again. Like, it hurts to be a Bears fan.
Yeah. It's hurt since 1985.
That's about it. I was 4 years old sitting up on the couch. That's my visualization, seeing like Jim McMahon play.
They were the 85 Bears were one of the best teams in NFL history. Since then, there's been a lot of disappointment.
Yeah. What do you think the reason is?
Well,
and you've always been a Bears fan. Jacksonville, Illinois is a Bears fan, or
I became a Bears fan about the time I moved here. Just a couple years before the 85 season. In fact, I actually met one of the Bears, was one of my neighbors in an apartment complex. Mm-hmm. He was a rookie at the time. But when I was growing up downstate, I wasn't that much of a football fan. We had the St. Louis football Cardinals down there. Nobody really cared about them, didn't seem. So I didn't have a favorite football team until I was an adult. And then starting in the early mid 80s, I became a Bears fan and picked the right time to get on that train because 85 was quite a year, and they were good for a few years after that.
You were the good luck charm.
Yeah.
So not only did you bring pot to Palatine, but now you're the good luck charm for the Bears winning. You became a fan.
Well, but they haven't. I don't know. I'd have to. Mike Ditka's son, Mike Jr., lives in my hallway. I'm a neighbor of his.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. And he's my age. The son is.
Yeah.
So, but
37.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. No, as far as what's wrong with the Bears, I don't know where you start. The offensive line is suspect. They're not what they should be.
Yeah, they're not giving Caleb
the coaching staff is questionable. And the Bears seem to have a knack for finding ways to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And
when you're good at something, Paul, you go all in, man. I feel like they're good at doing that.
Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. That's
speaking of hope. We almost beat the Packers, dude.
Yeah,
we almost beat the Packers, and we didn't.
No, we did not.
That sucked.
Yeah,
we have Packer fans, friends all around here, right?
They're not my friends anymore. I don't talk.
No, I think I'm done with them too. Maybe one I'll keep, but he's a good man. Just I won't judge him on his football team, Troy Heinrichs. But I know Jason Stallard next to it. There's two of them, but that I could think of that are Packer fans.
No,
they're horrible.
I don't hold anything against Packers fans, but boy, I wish we could beat the Packers. That's 11 straight. The Bears have dropped to them. They've lost like 26 of the last 29 meetings.
We had a chance to win.
Yep.
So how long have you? I've seen the videos this year, and maybe they're around last year, but I remember them this year. Where do these videos come from?
I think I started doing it last year.
Yeah.
My little.
Vaguely remember.
After every Bears game, I would be sitting there in my Bears jersey and give about a 6 to 7 second video where I would show my disgust with the Bears and some form or other.
What was this like? Hey, I'm going to do this because we need each other. Where did that come from?
This was a show.
We're all feeling it. Our poor Bears, and I wish. I look at ownership. I'm like, we need to flip it over because this needs a new touch. Because I feel like as Bears fans, we get let down all the time. I'm a Cub fan too, so like I'm used to it, but it doesn't mean it's fun. No. And my kids are young. I'm like, I would love to sit here and watch a Bears game with them because they're good. But when they're not good, it's not as much fun. And like to keep 8-year-olds kind of contained when the football sucks and daddy's yelling at the TV is always fun.
And you don't want them to grow up to be Packers fans.
Oh God, no. Paul, why would you even say that?
You don't want that to happen. So that's why the Bears got to get better. So your children don't take too far of a left turn.
At least be a Lions fan. I'm Lions were bad for a really long time. The fact that they're good now, you're like, good for you. I have a good friend that's a Lions fan. I'm like, oh yeah, go. Like you've deserved it. But the Packers, no, I don't have that same love for you, unfortunately.
The Lions is my second favorite team, and I'm always happy for them, partly because they were so horrible for so long. But I remember one year, it was about 1999 or thereabouts, I went on a bus trip to the Silverdome to watch the Packers play the Bears. Excuse me, the Lions play the Bears. We went to Detroit. And we got there, and neither team was particularly good at the time, if I recall. So sitting in the Silverdome, and I remember this play, the Bears had the Lions backed up at their own 2-yard line at like 4th and 22. So the Lions were punting out of their own end zone. And somehow that punt, I don't know what happened. Somebody fumbled or it got blocked or something, but somehow the Lions recovered it and advanced in excess of the 22 yards and got a first down. And then they drove in for a touchdown, opening up a lead against the Bears that the Bears didn't recover from. As soon as I saw that sequence take place, I went straight to the souvenir stand in the Silverdome and bought a Lions sweatshirt. And I still wear that sweatshirt every year during the postseason because A, the Bears are never in the postseason, and B, neither are the Lions. So it never offends anybody.
Yeah.
Lions are now good.
Different color blue,
Yeah.
Supporting another Midwest team.
But the
Midwest people.
They were so bad for so long, people forgot they were in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I'd wear the Lions sweatshirt to Super Bowl. Who are they? Detroit Lions. They've lost like
your team beat our team
38 of their last 40 games, but now they're good.
Yeah.
They're worth watching.
Yeah, they're definitely worth watching. I'm excited for them. It's good for Michigan. It's good for Detroit fans.
Yeah.
You know, we've had our time too where we've been good. It's just been a long
It's
time.
been a while.
It's been a long time. You know, you're known for many things like we're talking about, but Malort's one of them. Like, I think, you know, I think it's a Chicago thing in general. You love Malort and you understand that the taste of it is an acquired taste, but you kind of lean into that because it's a prideful thing of our wonderful city here in Chicago. But you've like honed the prideness of it, where I feel like maybe you should be a Malort sponsor. So you need to talk to me a little bit about this. I'm going to call it obsession with Malort and love.
I discovered it at a local bar in Palatine, TJ O'Brien specifically, right on the Slade Street district,
right next to Mad Cats.
Yeah, right in there.
Yep. All right.
And there was a poster up in that bar that showed, it was like a, you know, full-size poster, showed a picture of a guy saying, only 1 in 49 men will drink Malort. And the guy in that picture was a local Palatine guy that I knew. Paul Menageon's his name. He owns complete lawn and snow removal service, Class. You may have seen the trucks. This guy's, he's a well-known character in Palatine. And so his picture was on this Malort poster. And I knew the guy. I thought, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So that's how I discovered Malort. And that's why I drink it. And now as I've gotten older, I drink it primarily to establish dominance.
Yeah.
You know,
that makes sense.
As you get older and grayer and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Don't fuck with a man that drinks Malort.
No.
Or
yeah, so I put Tabasco sauce in it. That tends to really impress
people.
Was it
to smooth it out? Or?
Yeah, it actually, it looks pretty badass when people see you do it, but the truth is it kind of tempers the bitterness of the Malort.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have told us that like an hour ago, man, when we did that.
Should have brought some Tabasco.
We've done a couple shots already.
Yeah.
It's an acquired taste for me. I have found joy in when my friends come to visit. To be like, hey man, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Midwest. So glad you're here. And this is like our local drink. And I love watching their faces. Yeah. I can't tell you why it brings me so much joy. I think as many of us as guys like to see our friends in a little bit of pain. That's a part of it. But seeing their face of it, like it's an acquired taste, man. But because of you, I'm kind of digging it.
I keep at it, you know. Yeah. It has it was prophesied in the book of Revelation, I discovered.
Really?
I wish I would have written down the chapter and verse. I can recite the verse.
If Paul Shafer says something's in the Bible, something's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Paul.
I go to men's Bible study every Monday, and so I've studied the Bible fairly carefully. And the book of Revelation, for those that don't know, it's the last book in the Bible, and it's a book of prophecy, and it prophesies the last days and everything. And the Antichrist and all this stuff. And there's one verse in there
where good overcomes evil, right?
Eventually, yes. God wins is the theme. And that's important to keep in mind as you're reading it. But the part where it's describing the period of tribulation, there's a verse in there that says, and the water grew bitter with wormwood, and the people drank it and died. Malort is distilled from wormwood.
I think
it was prophesied in the book of Revelation.
Yeah. Wow. Man, I came in here tonight and I thought I knew I was going to get a story of Paul Shafer, but I didn't know. I mean, man, that's pretty deep in the book of Revelation, my Lord. I mean, there's a reason we're drinking it, my man. It's deliciousness, you know, who knows?
I think it was preordained. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It definitely could be. Paul, I've talked about you in the beginning. I think you bring light to conversations that are sometimes we're all stuck in this thing, man. This thing sucks and I love it and it's helping us do this. But if we're in this too much, it takes us away from being neighbors. It takes us away from like really getting to know people because you're only seeing snap shots of it. You're not going wider. You're not going deeper in relationship. But there's so much respect for what you've done and how you you get noticed in Palatine now because of your wittiness and you standing up for stoners that are going to buy him a drink at Mad Cats maybe, which we'll talk about in a minute. Again, about our party on December 13th. As we get ready to close here, what's your words of wisdom in the community? The world's a hot mess, man, and we're all taking a little life a little bit too seriously because there's just a lot coming at us. Not only we have our political stuff, but we also have social media, we have artificial intelligence, we have blockchain, kind of all coming together at the same time. I think it's safe to say when you look back in history, we're a part of a revolution, and maybe more ways than one. Many people know you from and from all different sides. What's your words of wisdom to the community as we enter this time in history?
Well, I would say, bear in mind, always remember with the word, every single one of us is flawed. We are all flawed human beings.
Amen.
And that includes you, and that includes me.
Hot mess.
If we remember that,
I like Malort too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Church Street beer. Yeah,
yeah,
still hot mess.
Yeah, but if we keep in mind, not focus on our own flaws, but just keep in mind that we have them, it keeps us humble, and it will help us perhaps be less judgmental of other people and their flaws. And I think that's a healthy way of looking at things, to be forgiving of other people. And the old Bible verse, why call out the splinter in your brother's eye when you're overlooking the log in your own? And I think those are words to live by in general. I think we'd all get along a lot better
Amen.
If we recognize that nobody's perfect, including ourselves.
Yeah, dude. We're all a hot mess. It's kind of part of a human experience, right? Like nobody's perfect, and if we try to think we're perfect, we're not perfect.
We're not.
To understand the bigger system of the things that we're in, and to just focus in on just be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
Maybe, and
be nice to each other.
And it's hard now, I feel like, because people are, even families are divided in all this stuff, right? So it's like, guys, I love y'all, but the bigger picture is something much grander than what we see right in front of us. And we're part of something, I'm going to say we're in a propaganda machine on this thing, dude. This thing is propaganda on crack. So to get out of your cameras and out of your phones after you watch this podcast and get out and to start talking to people at local bars, or start talking to, people at local coffee shops, and just get out of your house, get a part of the community. We need each other, locally. Yeah. It's so important. And if we're not, we're really going to mess up our generations that are coming behind us. And I don't think that's cool. So my hope is we talk to each other and we look to love our neighbor, man. It sounds cheesy, but it's real. And if you don't, I'm gonna be honest, go in and work on it, because it's better feeling when you work through that and you feel healed. I can promise you that. That's great words of wisdom. We're all in this together. I think that was a lot of our message that we talked to this. So let's be good to our neighbors. Let's support our local businesses.
Yep. Tip wherever you go. Tip generously.
Tuscan Wine Market, hang out.
Oh yeah,
live
great
music. Great place. Great food too. I think a lot of people don't. You think wine, but it's the food is mwah.
Yeah.
It's really good. And other places. So get out and connect with people. It's super important. But Mad Cats, when we're throwing a party.
Yeah.
December, the beer's kicking in. December 13th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Mad Cats, and a percentage of the proceeds for this time frame, 5:30 to 7:30, goes to the Harbor. The Harbor is a local nonprofit that is empowering youth to develop future. The Harbor offers immediate, stable, and safe housing to youth and young mothers experiencing homelessness. My friends, I'm burping because this beer from Church Street is really good. Dude, come out, hang out with us on December 13th. It's really important to hang out. There's people struggling in our world that are going through stuff, that are homeless, and their youth and their mothers. And we have an opportunity to be able to give back. Let's go, and we can support our local businesses as well, which you all hear me all the time. If we support our small businesses as neighbors in our communities and go to them before these big corporate chains, our money stays here, and they can give it to places like Harbor, and they could help us shape our communities, but we need to support them because that's kind of how this all works. But what are you looking forward to that night? Because it's going to be a party of sorts. Like, we're going to go at it for 2 hours. We're going to be in bed by 8:39, probably be a little hungover in the morning, but
That's why we're doing it's good. The party's on a Friday as opposed to say a Tuesday morning.
Friday the 13th. Oh, be scared, right?
Well, yeah. But, I'm looking forward to it. Of course. I mean, I personally haven't missed a party since 8th grade.
Yeah.
So I get to keep the streak
That's
going.
why I like you, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to keep the streak going, and no place better than to have it than Mad Cats. Those folks they're great place, wonderful people there.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to hopefully see a lot of people in the community. Maybe people I haven't met yet, make new friends.
Friends are good.
And support a great cause here. There's a need out there for young women and having problems and runaways and so forth, and that's why the harbor works. That's the folks they help out.
Yeah,
and
they help them in many different ways.
Yeah,
to overcome the homelessness piece.
Yeah,
and to me, I go back to like, guys, like, look at us, like, as like, let's help each other. Like, there's moms out there struggling that are impacting our kids. If you think that's not going to impact you, it is. Just look around, and I can't say that enough. But I'm looking forward to that night.
Yeah,
I don't go out much, man. I got young kids.
You got twins at home, don't you?
I got twins at home. They're amazing. So I'm kind of in the phase of life where I wouldn't say I pause my party days, but I'm super intentional with them now. So I make sure that I'm there for them. But I will be out on December 13th at Mad Cats from 5:30 to 7:30 because it's going to be the party.
It'll be fun.
I'm pretty stoked on that. But there's good people. Savio, Mad Cat behind the bar too. I know Ernie back in the kitchen.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know him, but great
food. The tall guy.
Yeah, I met him through all this social media stuff during COVID too, and just good people in a great local venue. We're gonna have fun.
I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be a lot of fun for everybody that goes. So, I encourage all of you to come out.
Awesome. Any last words?
No, I think I've used every thought in my brain. I think I'm flatlining.
Well, that's good. Well, it's been an honor.
Well, likewise.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's definitely been an honor, and I look forward to the 13th of December for Mad Cats, and I look forward to continuing our friendship.
Absolutely,
as we will, and we'll root for the Bears. Always, even when they suck, we got their back.
Yeah, we do. I still wear their colors.
It's sad, but we'll be fine. But
we'll see you at church on Sunday.
Yeah, true honor, Paul. Thanks for sharing your story and your message.
Thank you.
It's important for us. So, my friends, it's important for us to get to know each other's stories, where we come from, and understand that our stories, at the end of the day, although different, have many commonalities. So, I'm super honored to have talked to Paul tonight and to share his story. He's opted in, and I think that's pretty cool. And he's just an overall good guy that's brought humor to the community, and what some could say could be not so light at times. My friends, let's bring more light to the world, and join us December 13th at Mad Cats from 5:30 to 7:30, where Paul and I are going to throw down. And if you see Paul, whether it's that night or any other night, and you smoke or eat weed, buy this man a drink, because he is the reason that you could have it in Palatine. So, my friends, I appreciate you. Support local, love local, and we're stronger together. Peace.